Why do we become the people we become? And, in a class in race and ethnic and cultural relations, it's an essential question. Because when you look out over a population, a very diverse population like I am right now, you see so many differences. And there are differences that we can't see. And this whole class is really about differences and about similarities as well, right? But differences in particular. And we want to understand those, right? I mean, this is, if you're a thinker in any way, shape, or form, you want to try to understand what are the origins of the differences that human beings display in their behavior and their thinking and their thoughts and feelings and so on, right? Okay, so this is it. This is what we're doing. And if you go back and watch every single class from the beginning of the semester, you will see that every single class is, at the heart of it, is trying to understand the differences and similarities, but again, differences, I just want to focus on that, in gender, in race, in culture, in nationality, and so on, right? This is what this is about, and we want to understand it. And everything in the world of sociology and psychology is designed for that, right? It's very simple. Why are some people homeless? Why is your Uncle Nestor a dick, right? And what made him such a dick? He seems like he's your mom's brother, and it's just like he grew up in the same household, and your mom seems like such a nice person, but your Uncle Nestor is a dick, right? Why is that? What makes him that way? Why are some people homeless? Why are some people why do you have friends who just are sort of locked in their rooms playing video games? What is it? Or some people why is it some days, I don't know, just some parts of you that you're like, your family's all going down this stream this way, and you just feel like you don't really belong. Why is that? Why don't you belong? Why are some people homeless? Why are some people bad with their money? You have friends who are just really bad with money. And why is that? And so we're always asking why? What accounts for these differences? Right? If you have siblings, if there's more than one child in a household, then you want to understand what it is that makes you different from your siblings. Because you are. Maybe, you have a sibling that's really introverted, and you want to know, what made that person introverted? It's well, he's just always been that way. But if you're really a thinker, that is not sufficient. Because you really want to know. It's damn it, you just really want to know. What makes us different? And why is it? And why is it that some groups of people, racial groups, ethnicity groups, nationalities, whatever it is, what makes some people act and behave in some ways and other people in other ways, right? Why do we have all this income inequality on the basis of race? Why is that? Why is it that white people dominate in the United States? What are the factors and forces that led white people to really have a leg up on other people? Are we so you want to start, you start asking the questions, are white people, are we harder workers? Is there something about just that part of Europe that produced a certain set of genes that led to X, Y, or Z? Are white people more violent? Were white people just really ready and capable and able to use a kind of violence? Were white people less moral, which allowed certain Europeans to go and start a system of chattel slavery that the world had never seen? Are white people just more aggressive? Are they smarter? It's just yeah, you just figured it out. We built this amazing system here, this place called the United States that yeah, so, okay, but it's based on a certain violence, but it's based on intellect and tenacity and hard work, and, they somehow frame certain things. What is that? What? We're always asking what and why. And so, if you're not asking these questions, if you're not wondering, if you don't see the homeless person walking down the street and you ask yourself, wow, how did that person get homeless? what are the factors and forces that led that person to be homeless on the street? And if you settle for one simple thing, first off, if you're not asking those questions, then I don't, either A, it's because your mind is just so consumed with other really fascinating things, like maybe you're an architect or you're an engineer and you're not looking at the homeless person, you're busy wondering how the hell they built these buildings or something like that, right? But in the world of social science, if you're not asking those questions, you're not even alive. You're not even thinking, because these are the questions that are just driving us. Like, why? Okay? And they're awesome questions. Like, oh my God, they're awesome questions. This is the mystery of life. So, the idea is the answers are, most everything is unanswerable. So we can start right there. But the degree to which we can answer, I'm gonna give you a dichotomous way of starting your analysis. It's dichotomous, starting your analysis. So on this side, I want to talk about the inner causes. Okay, all the stuff that's inside, right? The decisions we make, the freedom that we have, our socialization, like our decisions, our desires, our open opportunity. And we all want to believe, especially like when good things happen to us, we always have this idea like, well, I chose that, right? Like you all will think, oh, I chose Penn State. I mean, a free decision to come to Penn State, or I chose to come to this class, or I chose my major, or I chose to be, in the position I'm in, whatever the case is, right? Like we have this side over here, choosing. So if we look at the homeless person, it's like, well, that person made choices in their life that led them to be in this position to be homeless. We start thinking, we start lining up what all those freedoms are, and the choices and the opportunities and decisions, etc., right? Over here are all of the factors and forces that are kind of outside of us. The things that why do you have the major you have? Why are you at Penn State? Why are you not homeless? So if we focus here, we're looking at all the things above us, all the structure, all the factors and forces outside of our control. We're looking at the chance things, like the families we grew up in, the determinism, the way in which life is just structured by things outside of us. We're determined in certain areas, right? We're being pushed along by so many forces and factors. It's like, I don't even have time to think because I'm so busy being pushed along, trying to make a single decision on my own. My culture, right? My biology, all the customs in our lives, right? The fact that I'm wearing these clothes, the fact that, there's so many things. So once again, why do we do the things we do? Why do we act in the way that we act? Well, over here is the whole realm of because we choose certain things. We make decisions to be a certain way because we freely express the kinds of things that we want to express. And we want to understand the wide range of factors and forces. Why do we act the way we do and do the things we do? Because there are things happening in our lives that shape exactly how we walk through the world. It's like we're puppets and there's invisible strings, and the strings are sort of connected to us, and we're like a Pinocchio puppet, and we're just being shaped by, there's like an invisible, like the God of life up above us. It's just kind of making decisions and pulling strings in ways that we don't know. That may have been when I was 1 year old, something happened to me that made me be able to be like I am in this room, but yet be maybe it was some kind of weird socialization thing. Have really unbelievably difficult to assess.